is on the right track here, and no one will ever trust Jackson again after that. Now, I'm not afraid to speak up to Jesse Jackson or Al Sharpton and anybody else I think are just opportunists. That does not mean everything they say is wrong, but it means that they're coming from what I consider something that we don't acknowledge. And I'll challenge you on this. If our engineer lies to you but doesn't lie to our accountant, is he a liar?
He's a liar.
If he raped one woman but didn't rape another, is he a rapist?
He's a rapist, yes.
If he said that he can't stand a black, but he is okay with a Jew, is he a racist?
Yes.
Okay. Then look carefully at the Jacksons of the world who say, I want to cut a guy's nuts out. And that is a person with such a dysfunctional attitude, and that attitude is permeated every part of his being. Everything else, then, is a functionally strong effort to maintain a presence of acceptability to get what you need. Therefore, when he impregnates a woman and betrays his wife, when he then does not acknowledge that betrayal until he is forced to, then that shows me his real nature. And everything else is merely his disguise.
What about Hymietown? Or even to go back further, Gary, there's been a series of articles on it when Dr. King was killed April 4th, 1968. And Jesse wasn't up on the balcony with him, but Jesse said he was next to him and walked around for a day or two with what he alleged was Dr. King's blood on his shirt. And a lot of people, really took issue with that.
And as they should have. Mm-hmm. This is an opportunity. Remember, go back to what I said. If a person is dysfunctional, then everything they do will come from that imbalance. Their perception is imbalanced. Their perception of themselves and the world. And all they will do now is try to work the system towards their advantage so that they can benefit to their dysfunction. Let me give you an example. That we just carted 2 guys off to prison for lying and from hedge funds. Now, one guy was worth $100 million and was considered one of the wolves of Wall Street, one of those go-getters. He's not in prison because he was a good guy who made one bad mistake. We don't put good guys or good women who make one bad mistake away the way this happened. These people repeatedly made mistakes, and this is the one that got them caught, and then the others come out. It's like Rodriguez, one woman comes out, now a whole dozen women are coming out. And so his whole proclivity is one of a dysfunctional megalomaniac. The fact I stop having any respect for him, and I don't watch any Yankee ball games. I refuse. I personally boycott most sports because the athletes have denigrated the spirit of the sport. We don't have Willie Mays, Hank Aaron, Mickey Mantle. We don't have Jackie Robinson type of character today. There are exceptions, but the rule is you get your agent, you don't give a damn about the fans, you want your big deals. And we start grooming these people from the time they're 4 or 5 when these agencies go around and scout every kid in America that has any athletic potential, gets them long-term contracts, buys their parents off, and now 40 to 50% of all their future earnings for the rest of their life, as long as they're competitive, goes to the agency, plus they get to deduct all the expenses for training, so it's really closer to 60%, and one day you end up with a Tiger Woods, a Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan betrayed his wife. Michael Jordan betrayed the American people by signing a deal with Nike, and Nike was using slave labor to make its shoes. All right? He was not ignorant of that, nor was Michael Jordan, or Tiger was ignorant. Now, that doesn't mean they have to have rapacious or obnoxious personalities. They can be smooth. They can be cunning. They can be nice guys to some. But think of the guys that won't sign a basketball because that's not your sponsor's basketball. I'm not making money, kid, from signing this ball, so go away. And think of the people that only care about what they're making and what's in it for them. I've seen this in so many times. So then the person comes from a self. The self has been conditioned. It is not born this way. It is a conditioned response of self-absorbed selfishness, preoccupation. And then everything they do is out of balance. Now, there was something remarkable about Dalton Trumbull. He never betrayed his friends, nor did any of the Hollywood 10, the 10 writers who were singled out because they would not answer the questions before the House Un-American Activity Committee in 1957. They went to jail. They lost their livelihoods. Most of them died in a relatively short period of time after that. Dalton Trumbull stated that for those who would sell their friends to make gain and protect themselves, what have they gained? And if you have lost everything that you thought was important by not betraying, you have lost nothing that is essential. But you have gained enormous respect. We do not remember any of the people that sold out, but we do remember the people who stood fast. So who would you want as a friend? Someone who would throw you under the bus and betray you? Or someone who would say, go screw yourself? Now, in my world, I've got the back of my friends. They will never be betrayed. No confidence has ever been betrayed. Think now of the people like Jesse Jackson. Think of the other people that the moment there's controversy around someone, they throw them under the bus. They just can't have the courage to stand and say, yeah, I said it. Don't back off. If you're going to be saying something, stand behind what you say and explain yourself. But instead, people make an apology if it's politically necessary, but it's not authentic because it's not coming from the real person's self. It's coming from that part of the conditioned self that says, I must survive this, and therefore I will say what's necessary to regain confidence. If you're an authentic human being, coming from a balanced self, you don't have to be apologizing because you haven't done the wrong thing. You've had the back of truth and integrity, and that you never have to give up and you never have to compromise. So the Dalton Trumbulls never had to apologize because they never did anything to betray America. They stood up for it. In the hour when everyone else was throwing red meat to the American masses to watch them tear them to pieces, there were 10 and more. There were Hollywood 10, but there were others in other industry who had the courage to stand. They were the real patriots. They were the real Americans. They were the real heroes. No, the people I see today, the Donald Trumps and all these other people, they would give you up in a heartbeat. And all these people on Wall Street, the moment they're arrested, they turn everyone in because they're coming from deceit. They're coming from this scary place of the defectional person. They're coming from the dark side of their nature. And when you're in work with someone and you're in a relationship with someone who's coming from their dark side, never expect a happy outcome. There are no happy endings from the dark side of nature. It's only when a person surrenders that and makes an authentic change that they can change. Can a Jesse Jackson change? Yes, but not in rhetoric. He is what he is. We're just seeing the latest extension of that. He made the mistake allowing his true nature out. The true Jesse Jackson is the person that betrayed his family and his congregation, that betrayed all black men and women, that betrayed a nation, and showed his racism in Hymietown, showed his need for attention in the blood on his shirt with Martin Luther King, and many people I know in the African American community were outraged at him for that, and called it, I remember someone who was close to me called it at the time, watch this man try to use anything that he can to get ahead. And look how far he went with his